Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, great to be here.
Today, we're going to tackle two concepts that are super important in a lot of fields, assessment and evaluation.
Yeah, these come up everywhere.
And we're using excerpts from Assessment vs. Evaluation
Great source.
to really get into like all the little details and the nuances of these.
Right, because they sound similar.
Yes,
Exactly.
but they're not quite the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll not only be able to know the difference between assessment and evaluation,
Yeah,
but you'll also be able to take these ideas and use them in your own life,
absolutely.
like in your work or in your personal life.
Like how you think about your own goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the source makes a really key distinction right up front.
Okay.
It says that assessment is about measuring performance,
Okay.
but evaluation is about making judgments based on that data.
Ah, I see. So it's like,
Yeah. It's like you take a measurement and then you do something with that measurement.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like a number just sitting there.
Right. It's like taking a temperature
Yes,
and then deciding if you need to go to the doctor.
exactly. Yeah, it's like if you just take your temperature and it's like, oh, it's 100 degrees.
Right.
Well, what does that mean?
Does that mean anything?
Yeah, do I need to like freak out? Do I need to call someone? Like,
Exactly.
is this normal?
Is it good? Is it bad? What's going on?
Yeah,
So you need that next step. You need that evaluation piece.
to make sense of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So think about like a student taking a test.
Okay, yeah.
Their score, like the raw number of points they get,
Okay,
that's the assessment.
okay,
That's just the measurement.
got it.
But then deciding if that score is like a passing grade,
Yeah,
that requires evaluation.
because you have to compare it to something.
You have to compare it to a standard. Yeah, like
Right, like what's the benchmark?
what's the benchmark? Yeah, what's the cutoff for passing?
Exactly.
What does that score actually mean?
Yeah, so like if I ace a quiz,
Okay.
but the passing benchmark was set like super high,
Mm-hmm.
I might still not be thrilled, even though like I got a good assessment.
Right, because in the end,
Yeah.
you didn't pass.
I didn't pass.
Yeah.
I didn't meet the standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the source actually highlights some definitions from this guy named Major,
Okay.
who really emphasizes this like comparison to benchmarks.
Okay.
He says evaluation is about using those measurements to make decisions or take action.
Yeah, so it's not just about like gathering data.
Right.
It's about doing something with it.
Exactly. It has to be useful.
It has to have a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
The evaluation isn't just like one thing, is it?
No, it's not.
The source talked about different types of evaluation.
Right, because like you said, it's about
Yeah.
making decisions or taking action, and there are different points in a process
Yeah,
when you might want to do that.
exactly.
So one really important distinction is when the evaluation happens.
Okay.
So formative evaluation happens during a process.
Okay, so it's like ongoing.
It's ongoing. It's happening as you go.
Got it.
So think about a teacher using like pop quizzes to see if students are understanding a concept.
Yeah.
And then based on how the students do,
Yeah.
they might adjust their lessons.
Oh, that's a good example.
That's formative evaluation.
Okay.
It's about shaping the learning as it's happening.
So it's less about like a final judgment
Mm,
and more about using feedback to improve.
exactly. It's about course correction.
Yeah.
It's about making sure everyone's on the right track.
Okay, cool. And then there's...
And then there's summative evaluation.
Okay.
And that happens at the end,
Okay.
like a final exam.
Oh, yeah.
That determines if you pass or failed the whole course.
Okay, so that's where the high stakes decisions come in.
Right. That's where you get the final grade.
Yeah.
The final
Exactly.
judgment.
But I think the source also mentioned something called confirmative evaluation.
Yes. Confirmative evaluation is all about the long game.
Oh, okay.
So imagine a company implements a new training program. They might use confirmative evaluation to see if that training actually led to improved employee performance.
Okay.
But they're not going to look at that like right after the training. They might look at it months or even a year down the line.
Wow. So it's not just about immediate results.
Yeah.
It's about lasting impact.
Exactly. It's about seeing if the training actually made a difference in the long run.
Okay, that's really interesting.
And speaking of evaluating training,
yes.
the source brings up Kirkpatrick's 4 levels,
Okay.
which is a really useful model in business settings for thinking about how to evaluate training effectiveness.
Now, I remember this being mentioned,
Yeah.
but to be honest, I could use a refresher.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kirkpatrick's model basically says
Yeah.
you need to go deeper than just asking, did you like the training?
Yeah, like on those little smile sheet surveys.
Yeah. Exactly like those satisfaction surveys that sometimes people just fill out to be polite.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, great training, thanks.
Yeah, I learned so much.
And then they go back and they do the same.
And nothing changes.
And nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So Kirkpatrick pushes us to consider, like, okay, what knowledge was actually gained?
Right.
Did people actually learn something?
Yes.
Are behaviors on the job actually changing as a result of this training?
So are they applying what they learned?
Exactly. Yeah. Are they actually using this new knowledge?
Okay.
And ultimately, was there a tangible return on investment for that training?
Like, did the company actually get something out of it?
Did it make a difference to the bottom line?
Yeah, it makes you think about the bigger picture.
Right. It's about connecting those initial measurements to real outcomes.
Yeah, and that's so important in any field,
Absolutely.
whether you're a student trying to understand your grades, or a teacher designing effective lessons,
Yeah.
or a manager evaluating a training program. Understanding these levels, these different types of evaluation,
Yeah.
helps you ask the right questions about impact.
Exactly. Yeah. It helps you figure out what's actually working.
This has been eye-opening, I feel like.
Me too.
This deep dive has really, cleared up some things for me.
Yeah. It's a good reminder
It is.
to think about these concepts carefully.
Yeah. So to sum up,
Mm.
assessment is the measuring stick,
Okay.
and evaluation is how we interpret those measurements to make informed decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about taking those measurements and making them meaningful.
Yes, and here's a thought to leave you with.
Okay.
How do these concepts apply in your personal goals?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you assess your progress towards something you want to achieve?
Hmm.
And what criteria do you use to evaluate your success?
Right. Like, what are your benchmarks for your own life?
Yeah, like if your goal is to learn a new language,
Okay.
how do you know if you're making progress?
Right. Like, what are you measuring?
And when do you consider yourself successful?
Yeah. How do you know when you've reached your goal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something to ponder
Yeah.
as you go about your day.
Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See ya.